Hey, this is reviews and other stuff, and today I'll be reviewing the new film Orphan First Kill. This is a prequel to the 2009 film and stars Isabel Fuhrman, Julia Stiles, and Rossif Sutherland. As always, my review will be illustrated and the artwork is done by myself. The film is directed by William Brent Bell, and he's worked on other horror suspense films from The Devil Inside to the two boy films about Brahms, that creepy boy doll in London, which I actually enjoyed. This is a non-spoiler review, so everything I discuss will have been shown in the trailer. Absolutely no spoilers. I'll tell you briefly about the plot, the characters, my pros and cons, final thoughts, and if this is worth checking out at your local theater. As seen in the trailer, Isabel Fuhrman is back as Esther Albright and terrorizing a new family. This film is an origin story if the title didn't give it away, and we get to see how Lena becomes Esther, and I like the origin aspect of the film. In this prequel, Julia Stiles has a daughter that's been missing for 4 years, and one day the detective working on the case finally makes progress when he finds their missing daughter, Esther, who is really Lena. And Lena comes up with this outlandish idea when searching a missing children's website, and that is how she finds Esther. And because they look similar, she decides to impersonate her. And this is how she's able to leave Europe and go live with her new family. Now, like a lot of films in this genre, and many films in general, the plot hinges on a twist and reveal to keep things entertaining. If this gets poorly executed, then the whole film just falls apart. Thankfully, that doesn't happen here. So let's get to the twist and reveal of the film, which is actually my first pro. Unlike the original and many films that have a twist and reveal, this one doesn't wait till the end where the reveal takes place. And that is what I liked about this film because the reveal happens earlier on. And because of that, they were able to play off of it and do interesting things, have interesting moments, interesting conversations between the characters, interesting setups, and so on, versus leaving it for the end and then suddenly having the credits roll shortly thereafter. Next are the performances. I'm a huge fan of the original film from 2009, and here we are 13 years later, which is so hard to believe, by the way. Okay. And Isabel was 12 in the original, and now she's 25. So I was interested to see how on earth she would reprise the same role and still pull off being a kid. Now, of all the films to get a sequel, I didn't expect this one to. So Isabel's good in this film just like she was in the original. Now, about the big age difference, for the most part, they do a good job with making her look like a kid. There were several instances where she obviously looked like she was 20 something years old, but for the most part, I thought it was pretty convincing. I'm sure there was interesting camera work that was done to change her height and probably stand-ins for those back shots. Like the original, her character is crazy and she plays crazy really well here once again. I feel like the director was able to take this character to the next level and have her do more chaotic things given the actress is now older. I'm not sure if everyone in the audience felt this way, but I actually sympathized with her character and felt sorry for her because of her disorder. And it's because of her disorder that she can't have what she really wants, and it's through no fault of her own. Now, Julia Stiles really shocked me here. I thought her performance here was excellent. Most of the times, if not every time, the villains always get the juicy roles and they get to do all sorts of fun stuff. And yeah, she's only playing a housewife here, but I thought she was well cast and did a great job as the concerned mother. I thought she brought a lot of warmth and concern through her facial expressions. I also like her character after the big reveal occurs because she's given more things to do and it just feels like she's having a lot of fun for the second half of this film and onward. I've seen some of her films, and she was big in the late 1990s and early 2000s doing teen-oriented films, and for some reason I just never got into her, but she does a phenomenal job here. Now, Rossif Sutherland plays the father, and I thought he was good as well. The only thing is, the film primarily focuses on Esther and Julia Stiles, so he isn't given much to do. He isn't in the film a lot either, and this film also serves as a good example of whether the audience will be bothered by the fact the film has or doesn't have any character development, or whether the audience will have an emotional connection with the characters because none of this is really required in a film like this. It has an outlandish premise, right? So the film knows what it is, it plays on those strengths, and doesn't try to be a masterpiece or go above anything than what it is, which is a simple horror type suspense thriller film. Lastly, the director does a great job here of creating an unsettling atmosphere filled with tension and suspense. The whole film has this foggy look to it, like they're in London or it just rained. And it may be some filter or special effects used when the film was shot, but the colors are drab and very muted, and it helps to create a certain tone and sense of something off in the distance waiting to jump out. Now, Esther is so aware of her situation, and she's always so fully alert and examining everything around her as a flaw in order to protect herself. And one can feel something sinister brewing in the background because her character is so fully aware of her surroundings. And she's the sinister one in this film, but tries to prevent sinister things from happening to herself. How ironic. Okay, okay. Also, not to give anything away, but bad things happen to two good characters in this film, and the whole time I was sitting there praying nothing would happen to them. So I'm really bummed out about that. I mean, why do bad things always happen to good people? Why? Now, I have two cons for this film, and the first is it's an R-rated film, and I thought it could have definitely went further in the bat crazy shit department. It's not a soft R by any means, but when filmmakers are able to do an R-rated film, I think they should use it to their advantage and do as many crazy things in the film as possible while still being able to rein themselves in. Thank goodness this wasn't PG-13. Now, my second con is the film's big climactic scene. I do wish it was a bit longer because I thought it wrapped up a bit too sudden, and I would have liked to have it get stretched out by a few more minutes just to see what interesting dialogue could have happened between the characters. Now, that brings me to my final thoughts, and this film gets a solid 7 out of 10 from me. It is definitely worth checking out at your local theater while it's still available. I thought the film was well directed, well acted, and the director did a great job at creating a specific vibe and atmosphere. The movie leaves you on the edge of your seat guessing in anticipation. I thought as a prequel, it stands up well as a standalone film, regardless of whether it's based off an existing character. And we've seen films do prequels, and when they're done right, it can be effective. Yes, the plot is not groundbreaking by any means, and we've seen this exact same plot on a season of Desperate Housewives. Yes, it does follow some of the same beats as the first film, but I thought the director found a way to keep things fresh and inventive, and the film overall is just entertaining. It knows what it is and doesn't try to be anything else, and I wish the trailers didn't show as much as they did. With that being said, I wouldn't mind seeing a third film just to see what Esther's up to these days. And I also just wish Paramount didn't cannibalize themselves. This film got released in three separate formats. The first is the movie theaters, second, streaming on Paramount Plus, and third, streaming purchase premium on demand for close to $30, where you can own the film. Now, this film definitely deserves bigger box office success, and Paramount should have left it as a strictly theatrical release. So definitely support your local theater and smaller films, send them some love, and check this movie out. Now, I hope you enjoyed this video. Also, if you like, please subscribe, helps the channel out a lot. Hit that thumbs up button, and feel free to share this with your friends. I try to make a video once a week if I can. Thanks so much, and thanks for checking out my review. I hope you enjoyed it, and leave your comments below on whether you like the film or not. And I hope the pictures put a smile on your face.